You are listening to Venus Rose, interactive spiritual Q&A and the power of sound. Music is like sunshine. Hello, conscious souls. How are you feeling? In the area where I live, we went from -8 degrees Celsius with snow to current +15 degrees Celsius within days. The sun is shining. The early spring flowers in our region are blossoming. The birds are singing their spring tunes. And we're right when they promised my friends and me the start of my personal favorite season since approximately 2 weeks. Energetically, we are in Pisces season, which is at the end, the very end, of the wheel of the zodiac signs. Spending time withdrawn and examining one's thoughts is on the menu now. What needs to be reflected about before the zodiac wheel starts new at the sign of Aries with the sun next month. Neptune and Saturn already started their new cycles in Aries last week on the 20th of February and met for the rare conjunction at 0 degree, intensifying everything that was already going on last week, urging us to focus on our soul mission. This 36-year cycle until their next meeting is about rebirth. The astrologer Molly McCord speaks about the purification of identity and the restructuring of the ego that is initiated now. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. I have a stellium in my Pisces house, by the way. It represents the element of water and the quality of being mutable, as the astrologers say. Scorpio, in comparison, is the fixed water sign. When I began to study these things many moons ago, I compared, for example, the energy of Scorpio with a lake that is not moving, but perhaps deep, sometimes murky and dark. Pisces' mutable waters are like the ocean to me. Sometimes calm, sometimes rough, but always vast. And there are, without exception, a lot of emotions, which water signs represent in general, that need to be dealt with, or at least considered. So the year of the fire horse is here, and as I mentioned in my last episode, it will come in with the blazing energy of transformation. The eclipse window, which is open for almost 2 weeks now, has been quite intense for many. The fire horse awakens with breakthroughs. Old paradigms will shift when the heat of the truth hits. Suppressed passions will rise again and will lead into action. I will repeat more of what I said because I feel it is important, now at the beginning, but it will be for the rest of the year. When the transformational energy of the fire horse that is described as untamed and unstoppable, freedom, movement, breaking of change, and making the change is the key. This energy scorches illusion. At one point, every one of us has to face the higher truths, not only the ones that we tell ourselves from a known and comfortable perspective. Yesterday, I talked with a friend about how everything always comes back to trust, how everything that we do involves some kind of it, and if, or better where, we do not have enough trust, we tend to try to control things. but that only leads us to a certain point, and never the whole way through. Since we are in Pisces season, and it rules spirituality in general, I thought looking at trust from that perspective seems fitting. Many people say, trust in the divine, or my mother says, God, through a Christian lens. I heard recently, let go and let God, so that He can take care of things, so to speak. This is an interesting, but not so easy territory to navigate. My question for you to ponder about is, do you have trust in the divine? How do we navigate trust? This question in itself reveals that is not easily given. I am a strategic person in many ways. My teacher once asked me if I might be willing to have more trust. It has, as usual, a lot to do with our upbringing, how we handle trust. 'Cause for me it comes down to how safe we felt in our environment as an infant. How much love and warmth we have experienced as a child determines a lot. Being held is not necessarily only meant physically, though it is very important for babies to feel skin, but to be held in a way that you can express yourself is crucial too. An environment where you feel safe to be you from a small age creates the solid basic trust we all need in order to thrive in this experience called life. In my one-on-one sessions, I generally explore various angles with clients where trust was violated and how this leads to distortions in our perceptions that then lets us make decisions that do not help us evolve. Our nervous system is key. Our body is symbiotic with our subconsciousness. It expresses the aches and the dis-eases. We are all wired differently, but hypersensitive beings react more vigilant because their nervous system senses the most subtle things. Every woman is born with a certain amount of eggs, and there were already in her mother as she was in the womb. Everything the mother has experienced is imprinted on her child. So whatever ordeal your ancestral lineage has gone through has an influence on your nervous system, and is up to you to get to understand what happened, or better, why you react a certain way in some circumstances. I have realized that what you put out into this universe will return back to you. Sooner or later. I've seen it in many ways through many clients and friends and family around me. And I do not mean it in a religious, you reap what you sow way, though I believe that is implied here. Is the universe benevolent? Do I get positive outcomes when I put the frequency of trust out there? I, for myself, can say yes. It is still not always easy for me, depending on the circumstances of the specific situation. My personal life path and my ancestral lineage left me with a lot of mistrust. I worked through the emotional mud of all the stories that were inside of my physical body, subconscious mind, and my soul in order to get more and more coherent in my core frequency. Clear, consistent, harmonious. I asked in another episode where we looked at trust from a different angle, why does coherence convey trust? Because the energy field becomes calm. Every being can settle in there where the energy is calm. The nervous system then follows. That's when trust learns to take steps, because it feels relaxed. And when your system feels more relaxed, it feels safe. When I am outdoors in nature, I feel the divine. I sense that I am not only a part of nature, but of the so-called Holy Spirit as well. The love that always showed up in various ways through people and animals helped me gain more trust within me, my spiritual abilities, and the energy that I call Source, and many people call God. Miracles have happened in my life with the help of this attitude, and I believe many more will follow. So I can only invite everyone to take small steps in building trust into the Supreme Being that imbues the whole creation. I love to hear from you. We are diving deeper into the vast waters of Pisces season. The themes are empathy, compassion, intuition, and I'd like to talk about faith. You can leave things in the comments of my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds or my Instagram. For those of you who do not have social media and love to send questions or would like to book a one-on-one session, to go on a soul sound journey with me, to listen to the deep trust within your knowing soul, send me an email for further details. You can find everything in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a beautiful weekend. As always, let me know what moves you. Love to you all. Rose.